A custom-cut SeaDek panel is the perfect way to spruce up a boat, off-road vehicle, a pool or deck area, even an insulated cooler. This material is a closed-cell EVA foam designed for marine use and great for making any surface cushy and non-skid. Plus, the two-tone layered construction makes it easy to route out patterns and designs on its face. Here's how we machined this demo piece on our Shapeoko 5.1 Pro CNC router. One challenge with this material right off the bat is that you need it to lay flat. That means unrolling it at least a day in advance and letting it adjust to its new equilibrium. Once it does stay flat by itself, mostly, you'll need to secure it to your CNC. The demo piece I'm making here is going to be handled at a trade show, so I'm taking the quick and dirty way out and just sticking it to a rigid sheet of HDPE. But if you're doing this for production, you might want to look into something like a vacuum table. With a little masking tape around the perimeter of your sheet of SeaDek and the vacuum table doing its magic everywhere else, you'll get a nice flat sheet of material that you can carve into with a consistent depth. Work holding problem solved, how do we actually machine it? Well, it all comes down to having the right cutter. Foam cuts best with ultra-sharp tooling. You can use general-purpose end mills like our 201 or 102, but for the best results, you should really consider buying a foam-specific end mill. The one I'm switching to here is from Datron Tools. It's pricey, but in foam, tools will last a long time. There are other manufacturers that also offer specialized cutters, and I would encourage you to take a look at what's on the market. The time you save by having the cleanest possible edge straight off the machine and minimizing the amount of manual cleanup needed makes this a worthwhile investment. The design I'm cutting out here is a repeating hexagon pattern with a Carbide 3D twist, and I've selected the area between the hexagons to pocket out. Cutting parameters for foam are all about speed. You want all the RPMs and feed rate. So on the Shapeoko 5.1 Pro, that's 24,000 RPM and 200 inches per minute or 5,000 millimeters per minute. Depth of cut doesn't need to be crazy here since the material is only about a 1/4 inch thick. You just need to make sure you're cutting deep enough to reveal the black substrate below. Foams in general will barely tax the spindle. SeaDek is no exception. It cuts super easily. The only tricky thing about it is that long strands and stringy shavings can end up wrapping themselves around the end mill. You can let a couple of them build up on the tool, but you'll want to pause the cut and remove a big foam clot like this before it touches your material. That swirling mass on the tool will mar the foam's surface. There are some techniques like using a raster-style toolpath with a lot of short segments to break up stringy bits before they can cause problems. For a short job like this though, I didn't bother with setting that up, but for a longer job, I might be more inclined to look into it. You can try setting up the cut with an initial pass using something like Carbide Create Pro's 3D finishing toolpath, or Fusion 360's parallel finishing toolpath modified for roughing duty. Another thing to note is that you don't want to cut all the way through SeaDek because it's attached to a marine-grade adhesive backing. Touching that with your end mill will instantly gum it up. Instead, when cutting at your foam panels, I would recommend leaving an onion skin of about 1/2 to 1 millimeter in thickness. You can then follow that cut channel by hand with a sharp knife to finish separating your piece of foam from the rest of your stock. The results will look really good. Stray fuzzies, if any, can be cleaned up with a stiff brush, and then you'll end up with a decorative and functional foam applique that can be affixed to whatever you want. If you want to learn more about CNC routers like the Shapeoko 5.1 Pro and whether they might be a good fit for your application, feel free to reach out to us at sales@carbide3d.com. Thanks for watching.